Hi everyone, it is Brittany from Green Bee Flowers in Strathroy, Ontario, Canada. We are growing, designing, and learning together in Zone 6A. We got lots to catch up on, so let's get right into the video. So I am out here in our little square hoop house because I realized I haven't done an update on what's actually going on outside the hoop houses in a while, and things look a little different since I showed you last. So first off, we had a few glitches. So we got snow, which means we haven't been able to get plastic on the hoop house at the old dry farm yet. The shell is now completely built. We have to finish creating like the doors and the entryways with wood yet. So in the meantime, that means I have a lot of ranunculus and currently not a whole lot of places to put it. So what we have done is actually fit as much of it as we possibly can at the moment into crates and have them here in the square hoop house. So we're planting about 20 to 30 in a crate depending on the size. So these are the crates that our tulip bulbs come in, and putting them in like a potting soil and peat moss mix, and then basically keeping them in here with a heater in it now that we are, you know, past the point where we're seeing really cold nights, which, I mean, it hasn't been as cold as I thought it was going to be. But keeping that in mind, ranunculus like the cool nights, they like the warmer days. They're very much an early like a spring flower, right? You're not going to get ranunculus blooming in July where we are. So putting them in crates right now is going to push them a little bit faster, so we should actually see blooms hopefully from some of these in the next 2 months. So if my math is right, they should be ready for Mother's Day this year, which would be really nice. The ones that are in the tunnel over there, Those ones should be ready in, like, we're starting to see buds on them, right? So those are going to be ready in a couple weeks, just in time for our spring flower subscriptions and for Easter. The math on that essentially, right, is it takes about 100 days from the point when you soak the ranunculus corms to when you see blooms. And so the season on them for growing is actually fairly long. But if you math it out correctly, you know, that's about 3.5 months. Sometimes closer to 4 months, depending on like what your climate is like. If you can give them good cool nights and give them like nice sunny days, or at least light days, they'll do very well for us here in Zone 6A in this climate. So I'm really happy about that. We have a whole bunch of anemones as well that need to go in crates, and I was really hoping that we wouldn't see as much snow as we did, because I wanted to get more low tunnels placed on the actual home property for the anemones and for more ranunculus, considering I'm like 90% sure we're not going to have plastic on that hoop house early enough. Now, that said, as soon as we start seeing temperatures here that kind of are above 7 to 10 degrees Celsius, and nights that are, you know, hovering around -5, I can actually get ranunculus planted out at the old drive plot. We just have to make sure that they have like the short hoops on them that we get from, where do we get those from? Dubois. That we get from Dubois. That normally we'd use for like deer cover on our tulips. We'll put those on top of the ranunculus with frost cloth, just to keep them looking good. Now, anemones bloom longer than ranunculus, right? So they have a longer season for us. The ranunculus, obviously, as soon as the heat comes, they'll succumb. So as much as we can do with prep work now to make sure that we have a longer season, because it's going to be really important for us with the big news that we have, and needing to make sure we have a consistent supply of flowers for that. So we have the ranunculus here in crates. We planted these just as they were starting to pre-sprout, made sure that there was at least, you know, 3 to 5 inches of dirt on top of these yet. The worst thing you can do for your ranunculus is to plant them too shallow. It'll make the corms less happy, right? Like this one here. This one is not deep enough. So what I'm actually going to do is just make that one right in the soil a little bit better. It actually makes your corms go dormant when it gets warm a lot faster. My husband needs to come back through here, I think, with some dirt and just cover some of these a little better. I don't necessarily always plant everything. It's a learning process for him this year. He's showing more interest in, I think, learning more about the flowers, and so I'm trying to let him learn, which is hard for me. Anyways, so yeah, so you can see like there's a decent amount planted in all of these. Our goal, ranunculus, you know, with a lot of flowers, I generally don't fear planting things too close together. Forces longer stems, I find. This is a great example of how many we have planted in a crate. They won't crowd each other, but it'll be nicely covered. And over here you can see like our tulips are looking fabulous. So these should be about 2 more weeks on the tulips, and I'm starting to see baby buds kind of like deep in the tulip. So as soon as those come up, as they start to color up, we'll be pulling these for our flower subscribers and for the wholesaler. These ones are a little further behind. These are all singles. This one's a double. Singles. The singles always go faster, especially early in the spring. It's a little warmer, a little noisier in here, so I'm going to try and talk loudly because I'm on my phone and I'm not on the video camera. So this row here, this is the one that we've been pushing, right, for blooms. So that one is looking really great. Now, we did have a bit of an aphid problem in here. We have been spraying with Safers, which is this. It's just like a insecticidal soap. Makes the plant taste not good to the aphids, and because we are definitely not at a place yet where we're going to be releasing like ladybugs or see any sort of, you know, good bugs in the hoop house, we do have to keep an eye on that issue, and we're going to use the insecticidal soap to do that. Mostly I don't want aphids on my ranunculus because then I'm not going to sell them very well. this row over here, this is the one that we planted together back in February. So you can, like, these look really, really, really good. I'm very, very happy with these. We have a couple that are still kind of starting to pre-sprout, but as we're starting to get warmer weather as well, we're working on getting a drip irrigation system in here. But essentially, like, we're checking the back of the leaves just to make sure we don't, you know, have any aphid infestations on here. We want to make sure that there's no bugs. So these are looking really great. These are all white. This whole row here is white ranunculus, especially for Mother's Day. They look great. White ranunculus do with all of the tulips. Really makes the colors of the tulips shine. This row here is a mix. So we have Picoti ranunculus on this side, and then up over here I believe there's clementine and a bit of salmon planted. We also have more that need to go in crates, but we ran out of dirt, so that's tomorrow's job. And then our little patch of anemones is looking great. This whole row here now are anemones, and like another 6 trays of them in the house that need to go places. So like, problems of running a farm is running out of things to put stuff in, so you make do because you can't be picky. Farming is not always perfect, but I'm very happy with these. And again, checking our babies just to make sure we don't have any bug pressure. These look good, no aphids on these. So the next thing I need to do is actually start blocking up the second succession of feverfew. We moved the first succession over this week. This succession was planted on February 17th. It's March 11th today, so it looks really, really great. This is the magic single mix, so this will put out like the single flowers, and then we also have a couple trays of the Tetra White, which is the one that has the double flowers here. But that really perked up as soon as we stuck it in the bigger blocks. We also have a lot of larkspur. So this was larkspur that we'd started in square pots, like the four square pots. I'm gonna say we had about a 40% germination on that. This one was ones that we had soil blocked, and I would say our germination rate was closer to like 85%. So I have lots of larkspur now. Like lots of larkspur. There's larkspur everywhere, which I'm not upset about.
You're really filming me sifting dirt?
Yeah. March farm chores. But you love it, don't you, Caitlin?
I do love it.
So this is our soil blocked larkspur, and it's really healthy. So I'm actually just blocking it up, which is why Caitlin is over there sifting dirt right now. This is going to be going in to the bigger tray today. So what's cool about the soil block is, I know a lot of people are like, hey, use the flat trays, it's better, but I actually like these because the ridging on the bottom, if you can kind of like situate the soil block in there correctly, the water actually indents right into the little ridges in the tray. Makes watering a lot easier. So I actually like using these over something that's just completely flat. And the same thing here, we leave a bit of a space up at the top here so that when we're watering, it can get right in around the corners and down and act as kind of like a soak up drippy irrigation thing for our soil blocks. Don't laugh at me. Here, so I'm potting up little baby larkspurs right now, and we have a lot of seeds getting started on the farm. So I'm gonna do kind of a video coming up probably next week. Our William Dam seed order came in, so I want to do a seed, what are those, unboxing, even though it's very much already been unboxed. But so you guys can see the rest of the crops that we have coming in for this year. And then also I want to go through and talk about the dahlias that we are growing this season. So those are a couple videos that are coming up that I'm quite excited about. But in the meantime, it's time to share some really exciting news with you all. So those of you who have been following us on social media will have already seen this really exciting announcement. It's something that's been in the works now for months. And when I mean months, I mean like months, like since October. But in about 1 month, so in April, so in about a month, we are going to be opening our retail studio for Green Bee Floral, which I'm quite excited about. It's something that is going to be so totally different as farm and floristry, floral, combination floral, that just isn't really available anywhere yet. So what's exciting about this is we are going to be able to sell and grow a lot of our own floral while continuing to supplement, because we are florists as well, so we'll be continuing to supplement with like wholesale import floral. But this is going to be one of the first farm to retail floristry studios in our area, and it's a big deal, right? Like when we talk about changing the face of floristry and what that can look like, this has kind of always been, I don't know, an end goal for us. We've always known this is where we wanted to get to as far as moving the business forward, and we only have like a franchised flower shop in our hometown right now, which means that there's definitely an opportunity for this. The retail floral shop, like the custom floristry shop, independent florist shop that was in our town, it has none. It closed actually at the start of COVID, and so the owner of that business had retired, and as we started to grow our business, we actually picked up a lot of clientele from that florist, and now it is time for us to move into our own space. So that's in about a month. We get possession of a commercial rental space downtown. Now, what's really cool is that well, not cool, but the whole process has been very long, because where we are in Ontario, there's only a very specific like allotment of shops in our hometown that are zoned for like retail floral, right? You can open like a garden center in any commercial retail building, but floristry is just one of those things where it falls under a different zoning application. So we've literally waited 4 years, and by 4 years I don't mean F-O-U-R, four, I mean like F-O-R, many years, to have a space come available in the core of our downtown that is accessible, has parking in the back for, you know, the vans and vehicles and all those things that come with farm flowering, and also like floristry deliveries, and is also beautiful. We have a lot of older retail spaces in our town. Our town has been around since like 18 something, and so there's a lot of downtown retail shops that were built originally in like so the one we're moving in was actually built in 1920. So it took a long time for us to find a space that we love, to be at the place in our business where we were ready to do this, and my goodness, it is like we're still very much like, holy cow, I can't believe this is happening. And it's a little bit nerve-wracking, and of course anytime you're moving your business there's a lot of like uncertainty about what that could look like, but we've gotten to the point, you know, with running the business out of, you know, our home and our backyard and all of the farms, where we're at capacity with the amount of retail work we can take on. And in reality, when you're doing a farm, like flower farm, your retail is your bread and butter, so you have to find spaces where, you know, you can sell. And for the last couple of years we've been doing the farm stands, and that's worked really well for us, but as we've grown in capacity and we're having more orders and bigger orders come in, we needed to move to a space that's going to allow us to accommodate those sorts of things. So like weddings and funerals, which is absolutely crazy. Like, I don't think 4 years ago when we started growing flowers, you know, for our own need to have something joyful to do, I expected it to turn into this. And I'm not the type of person that does anything small. So when we start things, it very much gets out of hand very quickly, because I like to constantly be doing more. So this is the more. This is the where we're headed, and this is very exciting. So I'm gonna, like I said, gonna continue to try and post pretty regularly, and I'm gonna take you guys along for the process of us moving into the space. We have such an incredible team on our floristry and farm now, that it really does feel like the right space and time to be able to take this on. And I mean, whether or not it's the right space and time, we've signed the lease and paid the down deposit, so we're moving in. So we'll be opening right before Easter weekend, so the 2 days before Good Friday. So going into the holidays with a bang. But on the bonus side, because we have done so much work on the farm behind the scenes, you know, we should have ranunculus blooming for then, and we will have our own tulips and daffodils in our store all ready for Easter. And that's absolutely huge, right? That's so impressive because it's not been done. I know there's probably some places in the States where, you know, there's a very collaborative approach to farm and floristry, but here in Canada, especially where I am in Canada, those elements of flower farming and floristry have all been separate because most of the flower farmers are focusing on either direct to customer in like flower subscriptions, or they're focusing on wholesaling, right? But for me, I've always loved that interaction with customers. We've always loved, you know, the part of floristry where the customers coming in are so, you know, attached to what you're doing as well, that to be able to serve our community's floral needs and something bigger than just flower subscriptions and market bouquets is something we've been working towards now for like 2.5, 3 years. So the time is right, and if it's not right, it's happening anyways because, yup. So in the meantime, we just keep potting up our tiny little soil blocks, and hope for the best, because the reality is that I need to get the flowers out of my basement, because we need all of the space we can get for seed starting this year. You know, until the greenhouses is turned on over at the old drive plot, we're still plugging away in our nice little basement here, and so yeah, that stuff has to be done. So that's what's next. That's what's next on Green Bee, which is a pretty awesome thing. I'm not gonna lie. We're very, very excited, and the girls have been, or the women that work for us have been awesome and supportive, and Caitlin just really enjoys playing with dirt. I don't know if you probably can't see her from where we are here, but yeah, Caitlin has been doing all the soil blocking, and has been really enjoying herself this year with the soil blocking. So yeah, so that's what's new and exciting, and keep following along on this journey, because like I said, there were really big and exciting things we had planned for 2023, and this is probably the biggest, most exciting one of all. So, yay! always, thank you so much for being here. If you have any questions, be sure to post them down in the comments below. If you enjoyed this video, please hit that like button. If you want to follow along on our flower journey, please hit that subscribe button. It means so much to us. I hope everybody has a great day. Thanks so much for tuning in. Bye.